a strange signal reached Earth. It was not a message of peace. It was cold, ruthless. A voice from deep space repeated one sentence: surrender or burn. No name, no explanation, just a command. It didn't matter where it came from. What mattered was what followed. Within days, the world knew the truth. The Galactic Empire, a powerful alien force, had already destroyed over 300 planets. Entire civilizations wiped out. They didn't want allies. They wanted control. Earth was simply next. The message came again, louder this time, echoed across satellites, radios, even dreams. People began to panic, streets filled with fear. News. Channels ran images of burning alien worlds, and then silence. The Empire waited for Earth's answer. World leaders gathered in secret rooms. Some argued that surrender was the only option. They are too strong, they said. We must survive. Others stayed quiet, unsure, frozen in fear. No one dared to say what needed to be said, but one voice cut through the fear: Admiral Tessa Rowe. She had once been the youngest Space Fleet commander in Earth's history. She was smart, cold, and known for never backing down. She stood before the World Council and said one sentence: we do not kneel. They called her reckless. They tried to silence her. But Tessa didn't wait for permission. She vanished from the public eye, but behind the scenes, she was building something. A secret team: scientists, engineers, soldiers, outcasts, people, with nothing to lose and everything to fight for. She called them the Ember Unit. And she had a plan. Years ago, Earth had discovered a strange object buried deep under Antarctica. It was a ship, clearly not human. The government had kept it hidden, afraid of what it could mean. But Tessa saw something else: a weapon, a chance. She believed the ship was from the same empire now threatening Earth. She believed she could turn their own technology against them. The mission to reach the buried ship was not easy. Ice storms covered the entrance. The military guarded the zone, but Tessa had friends in low places. Her team moved fast, silent, and deadly. They used old mining drills to break through the frozen wall hiding the ship. What they found was massive: an alien vessel shaped like a dark arrowhead, half buried in blue ice. Its surface shimmered like oil, reflecting strange lights that didn't exist. It was alive, sleeping, waiting. The Ember Unit entered the ship. Lights turned on without touch, doors opened by sound. The ship responded to them as if it knew what they were there for. Tessa walked slowly down the long hall, her boots echoing. The control room was ahead, glowing with symbols none of them understood. But then, the ship spoke, not in words. Not in sound, in thoughts, flashes, images. It showed them stars being destroyed, worlds crumbling, ships burning in space. Then, it showed Earth, and it showed fire. The message was clear: the Empire was coming, soon. One of the scientists panicked. He said they had no chance. Tessa looked at him and said, "We make our chance." She told the team what she believed: that this ship had once been used by a rebel of the Empire. Someone who fought back, someone like them, and if they could control it, they could strike first. The next hours were a race. They had to repair the ship, learn its systems, and prepare for launch, all while hiding from Earth's own military, who had now realized something was happening in Antarctica. But Tessa didn't stop. She ordered her team to work through the night. They trained with the ship's weapons, studied its engines, and unlocked its power core, an energy source like nothing Earth had ever seen. Then, one night, the stars above shifted. A massive object entered the solar system. It was an Empire scout ship. Tessa stood at the top of the alien vessel, staring into the sky. The Empire had arrived. But she wasn't afraid. Not anymore. She turned to her crew. Their faces were tired, dirty, but ready. The ship was almost awake. Almost ready to fly. "Let them come," she said. "We won't run. We won't beg. We'll Burn them first. And with that, the countdown began. Not just to war, but to the day humanity would show the galaxy exactly what happened when someone pointed a gun at Earth and told it to kneel. Humanity's answer was clear. We don't kneel. We fight. And this time they were ready. The alien scout ship moved closer to Earth. It was massive, dark, silent, and shaped like a blade. It didn't send a message. It didn't ask for peace. It simply watched. From the skies above, it scanned the planet, looking for weakness. Tessa Rowe watched it too. She stood inside the alien ship hidden under Antarctica. Her team had almost finished waking the ship. Its engines were running. Lights glowed like fire down its black metallic walls. The Ember unit was ready, tired, but ready. Then, the Empire ship sent a new signal. A list. It named 7 major cities. It gave Earth 10 days to choose one to be destroyed as punishment for not surrendering. If Earth stayed silent, the Empire would destroy them all. The world was shaken. Some leaders begged for peace. They begged Earth's population to choose a city to sacrifice. People argued, fought, cried, protests exploded. Fear was growing like a sickness. But Tessa made her move. She sent her own signal, not from Earth, but from the alien ship. She sent it straight at the Empire scout ship. One line only. You fire first. We fire last. Then, she launched. The alien ship rose from under Antarctica, breaking through the ice like a sleeping god. It hovered above the frozen land, glowing with orange light. Cameras around the world captured the moment. People stopped in shock. Was it an alien attack? Then they saw the Earth flag painted on its hull. Hope returned, and fear moved. The Empire scout ship turned to face the rising vessel. The 2 ships floated in silence, staring at each other above Earth. Tessa's crew locked weapons. Power levels climbed. The ship's energy core pulsed louder than thunder. The Ember unit waited for the order. Their fingers hovered over buttons. Their eyes watched Tessa, and then, the Empire fired first. A beam of white plasma shot toward the alien ship. It could have cut a moon in half, but Tessa was ready. She had learned the ship's secret. It could bend light. For 1 second, it vanished. The beam passed through empty sky. Then the Earth ship reappeared behind the scout. Tessa gave the order. Fire! Orange light exploded from the ship's core. The beam was silent, but when it hit the scout, it tore through the metal like paper. The Empire vessel split apart. It didn't even have time to scream. Across the world, people watched it burn. Tessa didn't celebrate. She knew what would come next. That ship was just a scout. The real fleet would arrive soon. She sent another message to the Empire. You chose burn. So will we. The Ember unit didn't rest. They prepared the ship for deep space. Tessa chose their first mission. Strike before the Empire could react. Hit them fast. Hit them hard. She called it Operation Emberfall. The goal: travel to the outer rim of the galaxy and destroy one of the Empire's supply stations. If it worked, the Empire would know Earth wasn't just fighting back. Earth was hunting. But the journey wouldn't be easy. The route passed through uncharted space, unknown dangers, alien signals, pirate zones, and worse, traitors. Someone had leaked their launch. Back on Earth, a shadow group in the government began hunting Tessa. They believed she had doomed the planet by attacking the Empire. They sent drones and spies after her team. Tessa didn't care. She had made her choice. No turning back now. The ship broke orbit and left Earth behind. Stars blurred, time twisted. The crew entered warp space for the first time. Tessa sat in the command chair, looking ahead. She didn't smile. She didn't speak, but in her eyes was a fire the galaxy had never seen before. The Empire had given Earth a choice: surrender or burn. Tessa had made her answer. Now it was time for the galaxy to feel it. The ship moved through warp space like a ghost. Time and light bent around it. Inside, the crew of the Ember unit stayed quiet, focused, and tense. They were heading straight for danger, toward one of the Empire's outer stations. It was a fuel hub, deep in enemy space. If they destroyed it, they could delay the Empire's attack on Earth, but no one had ever attacked an Empire station and lived. Tessa Rowe stood at the front of the bridge, staring at the star map. The station's location was marked in red. Around it were enemy patrol zones, mines, satellites, traps. She knew it would be a one-shot strike, fast in, fast out, or not out at all. The crew trusted her, but fear still walked the halls. Late at night, Tessa visited the cargo hold. There, in a hidden crate, lay a strange object they had recovered from the alien ship's core, a cube that pulsed, with slow light. It was not from Earth. It was old, maybe older than the Empire itself. The ship had protected it, and when Tessa touched it, it showed her visions. Burning worlds, broken stars, but also humans, long ago, fighting in the stars, wearing armor like shadows. Were they ancestors? Was this war repeating? Tessa didn't tell the crew. Not yet. She returned to the bridge and gave the order, drop out of warp. The ship entered real space just outside the Empire station. The place looked like a giant black claw floating in space, wrapped in energy fields. Hundreds of small ships surrounded it. Fighters, transports, security drones. Tessa knew they only had minutes before being spotted. "Shut down all non-essential power," she said. "We go in dark." The alien ship responded instantly. Its lights dimmed, its surface cooled. It became a shadow in the stars, invisible to scanners. Slowly, they moved closer. Inside the station, the Empire was unprepared. No alarms, no panic. They still believed Earth was weak. That mistake would cost them. When they reached the outer defense ring, the Ember unit launched a stealth drone. It flew toward the fuel core, an exposed part of the station, glowing blue. A perfect target. Tessa gave the order. The drone exploded, a white flash, then fire. The Empire station shook. Flames burst from the core. Ships scattered. Alarms screamed. Then came the second hit, this time from the alien ship's main cannon. A beam of orange fire shot through the station's spine, slicing it open like metal foil. Explosions danced through its structure. But then the enemy responded. Dozens of fighters turned and fired. The alien ship was strong, but not invincible. Shields cracked. Hull damage reports lit up the bridge. "Pull back!" Tessa shouted. The pilot spun the ship and dove through the wreckage, dodging debris and enemy fire. The engine roared. The warp drive needed time, but time was short. Then, a hit. The ship shook. Sparks flew. "We lost the left engine." "Someone," yelled. Tessa gritted her teeth. "Reroute power. We don't stop here." Behind them, the Empire station broke apart completely, its core exploding into a blue firestorm. The mission was a success, but they had to escape. The warp drive clicked. "Into place. Go," Tessa ordered, and just before the enemy fleet surrounded them, the ship vanished into warp. Silence. The Ember unit had survived, but just barely. Inside the ship, injured crew members were treated. Fires were put out. Damage was checked. The mood was heavy. They had struck the Empire, but it had come at a cost. In the medical bay, Tessa sat beside a young soldier who had lost his arm. He looked up at her and asked, "Was it worth it?" She didn't answer right away. She reached into her pocket and pulled out the glowing cube. It pulsed in her hand again. This time, it showed her something new, a planet with a giant Empire flag burning on its surface. She looked at the soldier and said, "Yes, it's just beginning." Back in the Empire's central command, news of the attack arrived. The Supreme Overseer watched the video of the Earth-ship escaping. He didn't speak. He only raised one hand and pointed to Earth's location on the galactic map. His generals understood. Earth was now marked for extinction, and they would send not scouts. They would send the full fleet. The war was no longer coming. It had already begun. The alien ship limped through space, drifting in warp like a wounded animal. Inside, Sparks still flickered from broken walls. Half the systems were offline, but the Ember unit was alive, and they had done the impossible. They had destroyed an Empire fuel station, but Earth was now in more danger than ever. The Empire had sent its answer. A massive war fleet was gathering near the galactic core. Tessa Rowe received the transmission from her secret satellite in deep space. The images were terrifying. Dozens of ships, larger than cities, covered in black armor and glowing with red engines. The fleet was called the Final Flame, and it was headed for Earth. Tessa stood in the control room of the alien ship, staring at the moving dots on the hologram screen. She knew what this meant. Earth had weeks, maybe less. No one else had the strength to stop the Empire. No other human ships could match them. The Ember unit would have to strike again, but this time she chose something bold, dangerous, maybe impossible. They wouldn't attack a ship. They would attack a world. It was called Drexari Prime, a central Empire world used to control communications, supply routes, and slavery systems. Tessa had learned about it from the glowing cube. It had shown her images of humans, Earthborn humans, held in chains. Slaves. She had thought Earth was untouched, but she was wrong. The Empire had taken humans. Before. Long ago. During the silent colonization age, when Earth sent deep space explorers. Some had been captured, taken, forgotten, and now they were alive, still serving the Empire. Tessa's heart turned to ice. This was no longer just about defending Earth. This was about revenge. She gave the order, set course for Drexari Prime, the bow. Alien ship jumped through warp, racing toward enemy space again. The crew was tired, hurt. But when they heard about the human slaves, something changed. Anger replaced fear. Even the youngest soldiers stood taller. They weren't just fighting for Earth now, they were fighting for their own people. When they reached Drexari Prime, they didn't stop to think. The planet was dark, covered in massive towers and storm. Clouds. The skies were filled with Empire ships, but deep underground was the control center, the heart of the slave network. Tessa had a plan. A wild one. She and a small team would land on the surface using stolen Empire shuttle codes. They would break into the control tower, set the slaves free, then call in the ship to strike from above. The rest of the crew would stay in orbit, ready to fight or die. The mission began. Tessa and 5 soldiers landed at night. They wore Empire armor and walked through the city like ghosts. The planet was cold, metallic, and cruel. Everywhere they looked, they saw pain, creatures in chains, eyes full of fear, machines that punished instead of fed. Then, they saw them. Humans, dirty, thin, wearing torn gray suits. They were cleaning waste near a reactor core. A guard hit one with a shock baton. The human fell, shaking. Tessa gripped her weapon so hard, her hands shook, but she held back. First, the tower. They reached the central tower. Security was tight. Biometric locks, code walls, but the alien cube helped them again. It connected to the system, as if it had seen this place before. Doors opened. Guns. Fired. Alarms screamed. The Ember team charged through steel corridors, taking out guards with quick, silent shots. Tessa led from the front, fast and cold. They reached the command room. Inside was a tall creature, part flesh, part machine, the Empire's overseer for this world. He laughed when he saw Tessa. "Humans always beg before they die," he said. Tessa didn't speak. She fired. The overseer fell. They planted charges around the control systems, downloaded all data, and sent a signal across the planet. "Slaves, your chains are broken. Run." Outside, explosions lit the sky. Human slaves began to rise. Some picked up fallen weapons. Others simply ran. The chaos spread like fire. Tessa called the ship. It appeared in the clouds, raining orange beams down onto the towers. The planet shook, but the Empire reacted fast. A dreadnought ship appeared above them, locking weapons. The Ember unit barely made it out. As they escaped into space, the dreadnought fired but missed. The alien ship jumped to warp just in time. They had won, and now the galaxy knew it. The Empire was no longer facing weak humans. They were facing warriors. The legend of Admiral Tessa Rowe had begun to spread, on pirate channels, in whispered alien talk, on rebel worlds. Even within the Empire, some began to doubt. Could Earth really be stopped, or was something worse than rebellion spreading? Hope. The ship floated in silence. After the mission on Drexari Prime, the Ember unit needed time to breathe. They had done what no one believed possible: freed a slave planet, saved lost humans, survived the heart of the Empire, but they were not heroes. Not yet. Tessa sat in her private quarters, staring at the cube. It glowed with slow, pulsing light, brighter now, as if it felt the war changing, as if it knew more was coming, and it was. A coded message came through. Earth's spy satellites had been destroyed, all of them. That meant only one thing. The Empire fleet had arrived. The final flame, the largest battle group ever seen, had entered the Sol system. It was no longer a threat, it was real, on its way. Ready to burn everything, and Earth was not ready. Its defenses were weak, its people were scared. Politicians were still arguing. Most human ships were old and slow. There was no united command. Tessa had no choice. She sent one simple message to Earth: don't beg, don't kneel, stall them. I'm coming. But she needed help. She turned her ship toward a system no one visited anymore. A broken, abandoned mining colony called Varric's Rest. Decades ago, humans had started a base there, but it failed. The mines collapsed. People died. The rest vanished. But rumors remained, of old machines hidden in the tunnels. War machines. Ancient tech from before the Empire rose. Tessa believed the cube had led her here. As the ship dropped out of warp, the planet looked dead. Gray. Lifeless. A spinning rock. But when they scanned the surface, they found something. A pulse. Weak. Buried deep underground. Tessa gathered a small team and landed. The mines were silent. The air smelled of dust and oil. Rusted robots lay on the floor, long dead. But deeper down, the pulse grew stronger. Then they saw it. A vault. Huge doors. Alien text. And on the wall, a symbol. Not Empire. Not human. Something else. Tessa touched the cube to the door. It reacted instantly. Light ran through the walls. The doors opened. Inside was a hangar. Quiet. Cold. But full of machines. Ships. Armor. Weapons. Not human. Not Empire. Something older. Tessa stepped into a suit. It wrapped around her like fire. And shadow. It moved with her thoughts. She didn't feel like a woman anymore. She felt like a weapon. Her team took what they could. Loaded the gear. The alien ship absorbed the new tech like it had been waiting for it. The Ember unit became more than soldiers. They became a force. Tessa gave a final order to the cube. Show me. It responded. In her mind, she saw Earth. She saw cities bracing for attack. She saw her mother watching the sky. She saw the Empire fleet, giant, silent, cruel, moving into position, and she saw a path, a way to stop it, but it would cost something. When they returned to space, the alien ship glowed brighter. It was no longer hiding. It had chosen. Tessa sent. Her final message to Earth's defenders. Stall them for 3 days. No surrender, no retreat. Hold the line. And to the Empire, she sent only this. You gave us fire. Now we bring the storm. The countdown had begun. The Ember unit turned toward home. The final battle would not happen in the stars. It would happen on Earth. The sky over Earth was no longer blue. Black clouds filled the atmosphere. Not from storms, but from shadows. The Empire fleet had arrived. Hundreds of ships, massive and silent, surrounded the planet like a dark cage. Earth looked small beneath them, like prey. From orbit, the Empire sent one final message. Kneel. Or we strike. But Earth sent no reply. Instead, on the ground, cities turned off their lights. Radar towers jammed the skies. Fighter jets moved to hidden bases. Civilians were evacuated into underground shelters. Every soldier, every weapon, every ship Earth had left was now awake. The Ember unit was still 3 days away. Until then, humanity had to survive. On the edge of space, near Earth's moon, a line of old Earth warships floated, waiting. They were smaller, weaker, outgunned, but ready. A group of desperate captains had taken command, calling themselves the Last Wall. They knew they might die, but they had orders. Hold the line. The Empire didn't wait. At sunrise, the first beams fell from orbit, burning heat, crushing force, smashing into Earth's defenses. The ground shook. Skyscrapers collapsed. Coastal bases vanished in fire. But Earth fought back. From hidden silos, nuclear missiles launched. Some were destroyed mid-air. Some hit. Empire frigates exploded in space, like torn paper. From deep bunkers, railguns fired metal slugs at near-light speed. Some even pierced the shields. Human pilots launched surprise attacks from the dark side of the moon. Small, fast, reckless. They struck weak points and vanished into debris fields. One pilot, Captain Juno Kai, flew straight into the enemy line, screaming, "This is for Tokyo!" Before her ship detonated, taking 3 Empire cruisers with her. The Empire was confused. This wasn't surrender, this wasn't fear, this was madness. On Earth, civilians were not hiding. They were helping. Farmers turned tractors into tank. Haulers. Miners built traps in mountain roads. Engineers hacked old satellites to send fake targets into the sky. One old man stood outside a government building with a rifle and a sign. "You want Earth? Come get it." The Empire commanders began to hesitate. This wasn't like the other planets. These humans didn't break. They bled and fought and roared. By the second day, Earth's surface was torn. Cities were ash, but the Empire had lost. More ships than expected. More men, more control. And then, something new appeared, a signal. From deep space. It was the Ember unit. Tessa Rowe had arrived, but she was not alone. Behind her came something the Empire never saw before. A wave of stolen and awakened machines, glowing with ancient power. Ships and drones and suits from Varex. Rest. Weapons made for gods, not mortals. The alien ship, now fused with Earth tech, roared as it entered orbit, covered in storm energy. Tessa's message came through every open channel. You threaten to burn Earth, but Earth burns back. Then the battle truly began. The Ember unit dove into the heart of the enemy fleet. Their weapons cut through shields. Their armor ignored fire. Human pilots from Earth joined in, following Tessa into the chaos. From below, Earth's last railgun fired one more shot, through a gap opened by Tessa's team. The beam sliced an Empire command ship in half. Empire captains began to panic. Ships turned. Orders broke. Some even fled. In space, Tessa stood on the bridge, covered in armor, eyes fixed forward. "We are not slaves," she said. "We are not weak, and we are not done." Behind her, the cube pulsed once more. It had one more secret left, but that would come in the final part. The battle for Earth was not over, but now, for the first time, humanity had a chance. The war above Earth reached its peak. Fire streaked across the sky like falling stars. Empire ships burned in orbit. Human vessels spun in smoke, damaged but still fighting. The air was filled with screams, static, and fire. But Tessa Rowe did not stop. Her ship led the charge straight into the Empire command fleet. Their strongest dreadnought, the Black Sun, stood between her and final victory. Inside, the Empire's top general waited. He was not like the others. He was old, cold, a killer of worlds, and he knew who she was. "This Earthling," he said, staring at the screen. "She is not a soldier. She is a virus." But even he felt it now. Fear. Tessa stood on the Ember unit's bridge. The cube pulsed. Beside her, now glowing bright gold. It had changed. It was no longer just alien tech, it was something more. She placed her hand on it, and everything froze. Time stopped, just for a moment, and in that moment, the cube showed her the truth. The Empire had not built itself. It had stolen its power. Long ago, it had found ancient machines, just like the ones Tessa uncovered. It had used them to conquer, to enslave, to burn planets. But now, those machines had chosen someone else. Her. Tessa's mind opened. She saw stars, paths, codes, weak spots in the Empire ship. She felt the Ember unit become more than a ship. It was alive. It was ready, and so was she. Target the Black Sun, she said. Let's finish this. Her ship moved faster than light, faster than thought. It dodged beams, broke through shields. Her crew worked like fire, silent, fast, fearless. On Earth, people looked up and saw the sky open. They saw a beam of golden energy slice through space. They saw the Black Sun explode. They saw the Empire fleet retreat. One by one, enemy ships turned. Their formations broke. The message was clear. Earth had won, but at a cost. Tessa's ship was breaking apart. The alien tech had pushed itself too far. Sparks filled the bridge. Her crew shouted. One engine failed. The cube made one final sound, a single word, in her mind. Choose. Tessa looked at Earth below. She saw her home, her people. Her planet battered but still alive. She smiled. Make it count, she whispered, and the ship obeyed. It took the last of its power and jumped straight into the heart of the remaining Empire fleet. A golden flash tore the sky, and then silence. On Earth, people watched as the last enemy ships fell from orbit, powerless, burning. The war was over. Humanity had stood, fought, bled, and it had won. But Tessa Rowe was gone, or so they thought. Years later, children would speak of a voice in deep space, heard in broken satellites and old radios. A whisper. We are not finished. Statues were built, cities were renamed, a new alliance of planets formed, and at its center, Earth, the world that never knelt, the planet that burned back, the home of the woman who changed the galaxy forever, Admiral Tessa Rowe.